Hello, welcome back. Today I have another ink sample review for you. This one's by Sailor, and I'm going to probably mispronounce this terribly, but the color is called Yurameku Seki, maybe? All right, so let's go ahead and check this one out. And we're going to do a swatch. This is a really pretty gray so far. It looks like maybe a pinky purpley gray. Very, very pretty. Going to do some ribbons here. We'll add a little bit extra ink. Yeah, this is changing color immediately. How pretty. Look how beautiful. Okay, that's fun. All right, and I'm going to put the name here. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside to dry. Whoops, do not want to spill that. I'm going to set this aside to dry under the fan. I'll be right back. All right, now first we're going to test this out on some copy paper. I always do that because you never know if you're going to be in a place where all you have is cheap paper to write on. Maybe you're at school or work or something and you can't bring your nice papers with you. So this will tell you if the ink will behave. So far, so good. Oops, Yurameku Seki. There we go. And this is copy paper. So far, this looks like a nice, even like a pinky gray or purpley gray on copy paper, but it isn't dry yet. So we'll set that aside and go to the HP 32. And HP 32 is nice because it tends to resist the ink a little bit, and so you can sometimes see the different special effects in the ink with this paper. And since we already know this ink does some crazy things, hopefully we will see some results. I'm going to get a little bit more on here because I don't think I dipped it all the way down. Okay. And this is going to be HP 32, that's right. All right, there we go. All right, I'm going to draw some lines here. Sometimes you can see the shading in the lines. And if there are any colors that you would like to see me review, leave a comment down below. And if I have the ink or if I can get it, then we'll make a review video. All right, here's that so far. We'll set that aside to dry. And then we're going to try this on some Tomo River paper. Tomo River paper is really nice. It typically shows off the ink properties really well. And it does appear to be doing that here, so that is good. All right. And this is Tomo River. I'll draw some lines here. And if you find these videos to be helpful or if you just enjoy them, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you can see more. Okay. There we go. And that's looking pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead and check on the swatch and see if it's dry. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. So here's how it looks on the copy paper. It's a really pretty, like a violety or lavendery purple, very pale and very nice and soft. It's a very pretty color. There's a tiny bit of shading you can kind of pick up on the writing, but it behaves well on copy paper. So this would be a safe one to use on your cheaper papers. And then here it is on the HP 32. The color looks a little bit richer. Up here you can see there's a little bit of a difference. I feel like more pinks show up on the copy paper and more purples show up on the HP 32. And then down here you can see the shading pretty clearly. It's got a lot of really nice shading. And I would probably call this like a purpley gray or a you know, like a pinky purple gray. And down here in the lines, it's almost like each line, in person anyway, I don't know if the camera picks this up, but each line is a slightly different color, which is kind of interesting. And then here it is on the Tomo River, and what's neat about this is the pinks show up more on the copy paper, and you can see those pinks here, and then the purples show up more on the HP 32, which is kind of in between here, but like right on the edge here and here. But then you've got this green kind of a sheen thing going on, which is not obvious in these two papers. And then you've got, of course, the shading here in the writing. So this is a super pretty color, and it does a whole lot of different things depending on the paper you're using, which I thought was nice. So it almost would, you know, you could have this ink in a pen and it's going to look different on every paper that you use, which is kind of neat. And then here is how the swatch turned out. This is really, really pretty. So it really breaks out all the different colors. First of all, depending on how much you put down, it's going to be lighter or darker, which I know is true for most inks, but this goes from like almost a pastel to a really bold color. And then you've got this green that comes out, and then these deep purpley pinks. And then down here you can see the shading and the writing. This is really, really pretty. So if I can find this ink, I will leave a link for it down below. And thank you so much for watching. You have a great day.